Hey, City Cast listeners, it's Megan. If you've been to the Strip, gosh, in the last 10 years, you know a lot has changed. And in a lot of ways, the anchor to all that is the Strip District Terminal. The historic 5-block building used to be the source for all the produce in Pittsburgh. And now it's an all-day destination for shopping, dining, working out, and more. There's the market on Saturdays, performances on Sundays, parking and retail discounts on Tuesdays. Check it all out for yourself in person and at stripdistrictterminal.com. Today on City Cast Pittsburgh, there's a megastar Pennsylvanian coming to Acrisure this weekend, and we've got a bunch of ways to let the games begin, or to avoid her sold-out shows altogether. Plus, what's going on with the city's Juneteenth celebrations. It's June 16th, the Friday News Roundup. I'm Megan Harris, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about. I'm with CityCast lead producer Mallory Falk.
Hello.
Hi. And newsletter editor Francesca DeBecco.
Hey.
Hey, y'all. I love this time of year because I feel like every weekend is packed with options. It is an extrovert's dream.
Yeah, and there's a ton going on this weekend, so we've got lots to talk about.
Francesca, I feel like you're especially excited for this weekend because you snagged tickets to the most exclusive show in town.
In town, more like in the world right now.
I know. I'm one of the lucky ones for sure. Pittsburgh is officially in its Taylor Swift era. Tonight and tomorrow, she will be at Acrisure Stadium. It's going to be a blast this weekend.
It only took Taylor Swift to get you to admit it's Acrisure, not Hines.
I know. Gosh. I mean, I would typically say Heinz Field, but here we are on an official platform.
I feel like it is so Pittsburgh to change the names of things to honor our heroes, like when former Mayor Luke Ravenstall became Luke Steelerstall for a minute. And so in true Pittsburgh fashion, I saw that there's, I guess, like a petition for Iron City Beer to change its sign to Swift City Beer ahead of this momentous event.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of cities are doing this to kind of honor her stop in town. I like to call the Iron City Beer sign our Pittsburgh Hollywood sign because it just feels like that. Iron City Beer said they weren't aware of the petition, which doesn't surprise me. I really like this other idea. Someone said that we should name a bridge for her since she is the queen of bridges, and she's coming to the city of bridges.
Wait, is that a musical reference? Like the bridge of a song?
Yes.
I saw that and I had no idea what they were referring to.
Yes.
Something about the way you just said that.
Of infrastructure.
I was like, what does that mean?
I mean, it'd be great if she wanted to prop up some infrastructure, but no, she is.
I mean, she's got the money for it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, come on. Help out your home state. See, that's the thing. She grew up in Eastern Pennsylvania when she was really young. She grew
Shout
up
out to Reading.
Yeah.
Yay.
She grew up on a Christmas tree farm. So Pennsylvania is sort of her home state. This is a homecoming. It would be so fun to do something to honor her here. Yeah, it's going to be exciting.
Well, the real question, Francesca, is what are you wearing to the concert? Because even though I have not been, it is very clear from my social media feeds that is like 50% of the experience.
Right. Everyone is honoring her eras in a different way. They're picking their favorites. My friend and I decided to go with this theme we're calling Cowboy Like Me because she has a song called Cowboy Like Me and the song Me. And it is this crossover between like the Lover, colorful era plus debut because we've been fans since the early days. So it's like, I don't know what you want to call it, like a colorful cowboy. That's what we're going for.
You were like a wee babe when she first started recording country albums.
Oh, no. Yeah. I was like 12 or 13. I've been a fan since those days. So yeah, it's, she's been this sort of like through line through my life. It's been a long time coming. And that's why it's so exciting. This is all the eras, right? So she's performing things from every one of her albums.
And she hasn't been in Pittsburgh in a long time either. I think it was, 1989? I remember friends freaking out and tailgating for that one, too.
Not the year 1989.
Well, correct.
Wasn't
Yeah,
her
the
last
album.
appearance in
The
Pittsburgh.
record, 1989, which I guess would have been, 5-ish years ago now?
Yeah, she hasn't been here since 2018.
Hey.
Yeah, so before the pandemic, as you know, The Lover tour had to get canceled from the pandemic and everything. So yeah, definitely a long time coming, a lot building up to this.
Yeah, I think I saw a stat that the economic impact of this is supposed to, kind of blow us away. Like $1 million in state and local taxes from a single weekend is what the Trib reported.
Yep. Yeah. So a lot of people are taking advantage of her stop in town and offering events and really cool, themed things. Definitely a lot of cocktails are on the menu.
That seems right.
Yeah. Yins want to go drinking. I know you're not going to the concert, but I'll tell you about some fun stuff that's happening. Sally Ann's in downtown. They're hosting a pregame party from 12 to 4 today with drinks like Love Story Lemonade and Holy Grounds Espresso Martini. Plus, they'll have decorations inspired by Taylor's eras, photo booths, and more fun stuff. Then across the river, if you want to stick on the north side, in East Allegheny, they have a delicious lineup. Guys, these sound so good. I know we've gone as a team before to Fig and Ash, but I wanna try some of these. So the Mr. Perfectly Fine from her song Mr. Perfectly Fine is a riff on a drink you've seen before on their menu. It's dark rum, spiced pear liqueur, Benedictine, lemon, and cava. Then there's the Dear Johnny Walker, which is Scotch-based. Meet Me at Midnight, that has a purple tint to it, purple blue tint. It's a gin-based beverage. And then there is the Berry Best Day, which is a summer mint julep, a very patio vibe beverage. So there's lots of options.
And if you're hungry, I saw one more in the newsletter. Francesca, a lavender ice cream from Millie's has a new fun name.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They, of course, are riffing on Lavender Haze. It features this art by an artist featuring koi fish from her music video. It looks pretty cool. So definitely try that if you're looking for something sweet.
And pro tip, if you can't actually make it to the concert, I have spent many a fun evening sitting either in Point State Park or in the park just there by Hines/Acrisure, because you can hear everything. So if seeing it in live, if you don't have $1,000 for a ticket at the door, then you can actually hear most of it just fine.
Grab your carton of Lavender Haze, put on your cowboy boots, and go sit outside.
Hey, Pittsburgh, it's Megan here. Are you trying to live a more fulfilling, peaceful, and dynamic life? Well, here's your chance to get inspired. The Art of Living founder Gurudev Sri Sri Ravi Shankar is in town for a special one-night-only event. The Art of Living is a nonprofit humanitarian organization, and they're active in 180 countries, teaching meditation, nonviolence, and service for humanity. Tap into your own sixth sense, meditation, and wisdom Thursday, June 22nd at the Omni William Penn. Tickets are available at tiny.cc/sixth sense pit. We'll put that link in our show notes.
Variety says Shucked is the surprise delight of the Broadway season, and the Tony Awards agree, nominating the Farm to Fable musical for 9 Tony Awards, including Best Musical of the Year. Shucked. The Wall Street Journal says it's flat out hilarious, and the New York Post raves Shucked is the best and funniest new musical on Broadway. Want to get shucked? Visit shuckedmusical.com today.
Another collection of events to look forward to this weekend is Juneteenth. The actual day falls on a Monday this year. It's one of our newest federal holidays. It was just established in 2021. Of course, an annual celebration now to celebrate freedom, culture, and accomplishment in our Black community.
Do you all know the last time we got a official federal holiday before Juneteenth?
No. What was that?
Is it Martin Luther King Day?
It is, yeah. So that was established in 1983, and there hasn't been a new
83?
federal holiday. Yeah.
Wow.
I kind of assumed it was like early 70s or something, like right after it happened.
No, it was much more recent. And then, yeah, there hasn't been a new federal holiday since then until a couple of years ago when the Biden administration made Juneteenth an official holiday.
I can't believe it took us this long.
Yeah, and I saw that, I think it was Gallup tracked people's awareness of it just like that first year that it was a holiday, because I thought it was really interesting. Just right after it was acknowledged nationwide, it was, I think, 12% of people that they polled said that they knew a lot about what it was, and 28% said that they knew nothing at all. So like a really big middle ground, but it shifted quite a bit. It's like something like 60% of people now say they know at least something or quite a lot about Juneteenth, just in that first year.
Yeah. I mean, I remember like back when I was living in Texas, where Texas was like, you know, sort of where Juneteenth originated, because Juneteenth marks when news of the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation reached enslaved people in Galveston, Texas, 2.5 years after it had been signed. But so I remember one of my colleagues in Texas at the time profiled this woman named Opal Lee, who's considered like the grandmother of Juneteenth. She's in her 90s and had been advocating for decades for this to become a federally recognized holiday. And, you know, one of her goals, one of the reasons she was advocating for it was if it became a federal holiday, then there would be a lot more teaching about it. People would learn that history. And so that Gallup poll kind of confirms that this thing she was really pushing and organizing for, you know, is achieving that dream of hers.
Wow, that is amazing. I'm so glad that there's, you know, people are more aware of Juneteenth and more people are celebrating it and you know, honoring all of that work that she did. But locally, there was actually a little bit of complication. This year, I actually think that they had to cancel the fireworks because you have to have a certain type of security at Point State Park in order to put on fireworks. So people weren't sure how events were going to play out this weekend, but I believe everything is a go besides the fireworks. But the party's been growing since it started in 2013. There were 100 people in Market Square then it moved to Point State Park in 2018. It got 40,000 people in 2021, and there are 50,000 people expected to be there this weekend.
Yeah, Pittsburgh Magazine had a really great explainer about this whole sort of messy back and forth between the city and the state and the organizers, because the state has its own set of rules because this is Point State Park. It's a state park. So I guess the state rangers told the organizers that they have to have a state license for their security team. They've been using the same people for 5 years, and I guess they've never had that. They say that they've been saying like, oh, you need this for a while, just not enforcing it completely. The organizers are like, wait, no, we didn't budget for this. It's going to cost us like thousands of dollars to get additional security for bag checks. The city gave $125,000 in grant money to the Juneteenth organizers, but they say they had already spent it on performers and advertisers and production, and they don't have any ability to really deal with this. So instead of doing that, they just canceled the fireworks. Mayor Adganey told reporters earlier this week that they never wanted to stop the event. And of course, the police presence is still going to be there, but they need the event promoters to, quote, comply with all regulations if they're going to have fireworks in a state park. So anyway, I think that's the most of what's going on with the bag checks and the fireworks show, which is to say no fireworks.
Yeah. And I mean, I know the back and forth got like kind of messy where, you know, one of the event organizers, B. Marshall, told WESA that he kind of thought this like enforcement of the rules this year was about racism.
Totally. Yeah.
You know, the state said we've been saying this for a while, but the end result is that it will still be taking place just without the fireworks show.
Well, and the other thing was food vendors, too. So, like, state park officials told the organizers that they couldn't have gas generators in the park because of environmental and safety concerns. But they have, like, 80 vendors that use gas generators to cook. So they had to move everyone to Liberty Avenue outside Point State Park to have, like, a vendor plaza instead of having it in the park where all the other performances are going to be.
I mean, it's not the same thing, but this is sort of also the reason why the Arts Fest moved out of Point State Park, because there's more regulations in state parks now. So that's why it's in the cultural district.
But there are a ton of cool events to celebrate. I think they have 13 musical performances over the 3 days. So it's hip hop tonight, R&B tomorrow, and then the parade, of course.
Yeah, the Grand Jubilee Parade that's happening on Saturday.
Yeah, it starts at 10:30 a.m. And you can see it from Center, 5th, and Liberty Avenues. It'll go from the Hill District to downtown. And of course, I thought this was really fun. They always focus really heavily on voting rights and celebrating and commemorating that. There was a big parade in Pittsburgh in 1870 where people recognized the passage of the 15th Amendment, which gave Black men the right to vote. Of course, women came much later.
Right.
And then there's gospel and soul performances on Sunday. And then Monday is the actual commemoration day, which also marks 5 years since Antoine Rose Jr. was shot and killed in East Pittsburgh.
Oh my God, you're right. That always does intersect with Juneteenth. I actually saw that Antoine's mom, Michelle Kenny, is going to be on The Confluence this morning at 9. That's WESA's daily show, along with One Hood and some others. But yeah, even without the fireworks on Monday night, there's still going to be a lot of commemorations in the park.
Yeah, there will be a bunch of performances, including one from the Pittsburgh Symphony Orchestra.
So all of that is today through Monday, every day from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. It's all free, mostly between Point State Park and Market Square.
Yeah, look for a list of those events and more in today's newsletter.
Last but not least, if you want to avoid downtown, the Point, big congested crowds at all, I've got some other events for you. First of all, it's still June, it's still Pride. And so there are a bunch of Pride celebrations this weekend, including a number of neighborhoods are having their own Pride celebrations. So Mount Lebanon, Bellevue, and Lawrenceville, they're all having their own Pride celebrations on Saturday. And what's cool is these are all like pretty new events. Lebo Pride and Bellevue Pride just started last year. And this is the first year there's a neighborhood-wide official celebration in Lawrenceville.
Yeah, I remember Jim Shepard, the founder and editor of Qberg, our city's queer-focused magazine, talking about like just how exciting it was to see all these little neighborhoods like step up and have their own Pride events. Because of course, Pittsburgh's was a couple weeks ago, but it's nice to be able to celebrate all month long in all kinds of little places.
We love neighborhood prides. I mean, we've got so many neighborhoods. We could really celebrate. We could hop around
90
them all.
celebrations. Yeah. I also think it's really nice that there are all of these individual neighborhood celebrations because last weekend there was the, pretty disappointing news that there was supposed to be a Catholic mass in solidarity with the LGBTQ plus Catholic community here, and that got canceled. I'm not sure if you all have been following this story.
Yeah, that was with Duquesne University. They actually held a similar mass last year. That's why it was a little weird that it got canceled. It's not like it's anything new. But this was coming from the Diocese of Pittsburgh, the Bishop David Zubik.
Yeah, so you're right. There was this mass last year. It's held by this group, Catholics for Change in Our Church, which I guess has been holding monthly social justice masses at the Duquesne University Chapel for a while now. And last year had this solidarity mass. But apparently this year, a flyer got released by one of the other groups that was involved, advertising it as a Pride Mass. And then the conservative outlet, the Daily Signal, somehow saw this and, spread the word about it online. And the Catholic Diocese of Pittsburgh started getting like hundreds of messages, I guess, denouncing the service. And
they say they did. We have no evidence of that.
They say they got these messages. They say they received threats. Bishop Zubik says he didn't know that the mass was happening and until he got these threatening calls and urged the group to cancel.
What's really sad about this is that by urging them to cancel, he's essentially legitimizing those threats.
Yeah, I saw you reported that in the newsletter. It was a really good point from that Duquesne University professor that talked to WESA.
I feel like especially like being able to go to some of these local prides is nice with some of the corporate like rainbow capitalism we've been seeing. Folks like dropping pride lines after sort of pandering to our queer community. I was heartened to see that, I don't know if y'all saw earlier this week that there was like that issue with Southern Tier canceling a drag brunch because there was some kind of scheduling conflict.
What ended up happening with that?
So they put up a pretty lengthy statement saying that they've been listening to consumers and employees, and it was completely their error for accidentally double booking. So they're closing Southern Tier on Sunday completely until 3 p.m. so that employees can attend the makeup drag brunch because the organizers were able to reschedule in Homestead. And then all of their sales from 3 p.m. on will go to benefit a local nonprofit organization. They don't actually say which one, but still, it's a decent show of faith for what was hopefully legitimately an error, but who knows?
Yeah.
So I guess to lighten the mood a little bit, I don't know a lot about this, but Mallory, the look on your face when you found the gay dog pageant, I want to know more about it.
Tell us.
Yes, I was so thrilled to learn about this event. There is on Saturday from noon to 6 p.m., there is a gay dog pageant competition for Pittsburgh's gayest dog.
Oh my gosh.
It's at Bohem Pittsburgh in Lawrenceville. And I just have to read an excerpt from the Facebook event page.
You told us not to read it in advance. I'm very excited.
I need
real-time reactions here. Do you think your dog might be light in the loafers? Could it be possible that your dog is a friend of Dorothy? Are they just a little bit Nancy? Is your dog a pillow biter? If so, then we have the perfect event for you. Akasha L. Van Cartier is hosting a pageant dedicated to finding the most homo canine in all of Pittsburgh.
I feel like it's got to be a Chihuahua, right? Like,
it has to be.
I don't know. But this sounds fabulous.
Although there is on the page, there is a pug in a BDSM type outfit. So I don't know.
Man,
there's a lot of directions it could go in.
I really hope they have like a proper photographer or at least some like really energetic dog parents that can post about this. I'm excited to see the entries.
Yeah. So if you're interested, if you think your dog could be a contender, the signups start at noon. Every dog is going to sashay this red carpet runway with their person, their handler, and then strut back in front of their judges. And there's going to be some questions like, besides being born this way, what makes your dog particularly gay? And why is your dog Pittsburgh's gayest dog? There's going to be a judging panel, and then some lucky pup will be pronounced the most homo dog in all of Pittsburgh.
Mallory, you're the only one on this team who's a dog owner. What do you think?
I do actually think that my dog Zero might be queer. The only dog she's ever shown real affection to is this poodle named Abby back when we were living in El Paso.
Aww.
She used to lick Abby's mouth, but Abby also ate liver snap treats. And so I don't know whether it was a true romance or her mouth just smelled tasty. But I like to believe she and Abby knew each other on an intimate level.
Was it love or was it lust?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Zero could be a contender.
I love this. I mean, this could perhaps be the best Pride Parade.
So if you think your dog has what it takes, we'll have information in our show notes. And if your dog is more heteronormative, there's also an event on Saturday at North Park Lake. There's a dog battle that Venture Outdoors will be there providing kayaks, paddles, and instructions to bring your dog along for a nice little Saturday paddle. So if this pageant is not their speed, there's other activities for them to enjoy.
My favorite detail of this one is that they're going to provide flotation devices for your favorite pooch while supplies last.
So if you don't have a dog or a homo or heteronormative dog, what other events do we have going on, Mallory?
Yeah, just a couple more that I want to shout out. If you're looking for music that's not of the Taylor Swift variety, there's the Franklin Blues and Barbecue Fest on Saturday and Sunday.
That's like an hour and a half north of Pittsburgh, like straight up.
Yeah, and it says that it's benefiting the blues in public schools, so that's kind of a cool thing to support.
Yeah.
And then Sunday is also Father's Day, and there's a Father's Day barbecue brunch at the National Aviary. So it's $55 per adult, $35 per child. Kids under 2 get in free, and the tickets get you entry to see the birds and barbecue brunch from Atria's. So if you're still looking for something special to do with your dad, take him to get pooped on by a bird.
That's all for today here on City Cast Pittsburgh. Our music is by Benji. The show is produced by Mallory Falk and Maria Carter. Special thanks this week to Luke Mongelli for engineering us all at the Bottle Rocket Social Hall in Allentown, and for CityCast Elizabeth Coma for running the room and helping us always sound our best. Y'all are the greatest. Francesca DeBecco writes our newsletter, and I'm your host, Megan Harris. We'll be back on Tuesday with more news from around the city. Have a great weekend, y'all.
The Mr. Wait, hold on.
Can you do it?
Let me say this. Hold on. Wait. Let me redo it.